Alex, I mean, how do you even describe, well, firstly, winning a individual gold medal, then of course following it up with the bronze in the relay, but secondly, processing that, how's that been for you?
Yeah, no, it's been pretty magic, to be fair. I think, when I crossed that finish line, you could probably see in my face that I still didn't quite believe what had just happened over that last K, because, it all happened so quickly. But it was, yeah, a really special moment. And, I think it's still going to take some time to process and, appreciate what's happened, because, it's been, I guess, a long time in the making.
I was about to say, do you remember much of the last K, 2K, and how that went down generally?
It's funny because I'd say I remember it quite vividly. Like, I think for me, that final push and just, picking a point and, saying I want to give myself that, that one more chance not to give up on, what I'd worked for, and, so many other people had helped me work towards for so long. So it's funny that I can just probably take you, step by step through that last K. So.
And, well, we're talking of that then, taking it through step by step, to get that mindset and that drive, that energy to get past Hayden in the last, 400 metres. I mean, I know you've been asked this a lot, but what was going through your head, firstly, when you were kind of behind and catching up, and then secondly, kind of catching up, to him, going past him and then crossing the line?
I think it was just like a patience thing for me initially. Like, I knew, Hayden had gone out at an incredible pace, and at that time I couldn't follow. I felt actually, quite depleted at that point in the race, and, going through quite a bad patch. And I think, for every triathlon we often go through bad patches. So I think for me it was just setting my stall and, make sure I was still, still in the race, still, maybe not to everyone's seeming contention, but just there or thereabouts. And, with a K, 1500 meters to go, I just picked a point and was like, I'm just going to go give it hell for leather and see what happens. And, I could see maybe he was tying up a little bit, and, he'd gone out at such an incredible pace that, I knew that at some point maybe he would pay for that. And as we came closer and closer together, it got, more and more belief in what was happening.
Where does that mindset come from generally? I mean, what's kind of going through your head? Was it almost like, if I don't do this, I'm going to get the silver medal, essentially? Or
I think it was a fact of, like, if I left anything out there on the course, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. I think, if I didn't give 100%, then, I'm not safe in the knowledge that I could have been the better man on the day or anything like that. And, if I had given 100% and, Hayden had beaten me, then fair play to him, the better man would have beaten me. So I think that was the thing for me was, I don't want to have any what ifs when I cross that finish line. I want to, finish thinking, I've given it everything I had, and, fair play to whatever happens.
And actually, that moment where you two were together, like, on the line, I mean, we were just chatting off there about, you get it in the heptathlon and the decathlon, where the multi-eventers, there's that much respect because of what you've gone through, and I guess it's similar in triathlon.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an appreciation for, there's no easy way to get to the top level of our sport. You have to work incredibly hard, and we all appreciate that. And I think, you see it, like you said, you see it within the multi-eventers as well. Like, it's just a respect thing of, like, we've raced probably our biggest race of, our lives, and we appreciate, each other for pushing each other and the other competitors to 100% to see what can happen, and just, put on a show fundamentally.
And to be called an Olympic champion individually, obviously, you got very close in Tokyo to Christian and the battle there. You got the mixed relay gold in Tokyo, but this, individual one is slightly different, I guess, to an extent. I mean, to think that you'll be called an Olympic champion for the rest of your life, I mean, how do you process that?
It's mad. It's still something I can't really process probably now, and I still find it hard to talk about, just because, you grow up watching people and, watching, over 2012, watching people achieve amazing things, and then, for me to, be achieving similar things now is just absolutely bonkers. To put those guys on a pedestal and now be able to, call them equals is, something really special. And, it's probably still something I haven't, quite processed.
And for anyone who doesn't really know much about your story, I mean, what inspired you to get into the sport? Obviously, you started in running and athletics, and safe to say a 27-minute 10K in that triathlon isn't a surprise when people look at your 10K background. But what inspired you to get into it?
Well, it was initially my dad, actually. So I actually did start triathlon for triathlon. So,
okay.
So for me, my dad was, was doing the sport, and he was doing duathlon, so run, bike, run. And, he was my initial inspiration, I guess, to get involved with the sport. And he was probably initially my why, was like I wanted to follow in the footsteps of my dad and go through that motion of, everyone has their initial role models as, their parents probably. And then, as I went on, I joined the triathlon club, and, my why became to be social and to enjoy it. And then, after 2012, I think, that first taste of Olympics and, falling in love with the Olympic Games, at that games, I think my why then changed to, can I do this? Could I go to Olympic Games? And fundamentally, can I push myself to be the best athlete I can be, and be the best version of myself? And that why is continued, and it's great to have that, because I think it's almost limitless in our sport.
And like, you will now get to, there will be now kids who will be inspired by you, and when you think about that and you're in your mid-20s, I mean, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I know, it's pretty nuts. I think every time I hear a story about someone, and please tell me a story if you have one of you starting the sport, or somebody being inspired by the Olympics, or watching me race, or watching anyone race within the triathlon, because I think that's one of the fundamental reasons why we do it, is we want to race to the best of our abilities, get the most out of our bodies, but we want to entertain, we want to put smiles on people's faces, and we want to get people doing the sport and being more active. So I think especially when I see some young kids trying the sport, or just running around their living room watching us race, I think that's just what the Olympics is all about. And hope they're falling in love with the Olympics just like I did 12 years ago.
And I've got to ask about the relay as well. Obviously, very different dynamic. You got gold in Tokyo, bronze here, but you've almost completed the set when it comes to kind of the colour of the medals now from both games. I mean, how special was to get a medal? Obviously, Beth and what she achieved in the individuals as well, together as a group.
Yeah, no, really special. I think relays are always a special thing, because we train so hard as individuals, but we see how hard each individual works within our team, and we want the best for them, and we want to give that extra few percents when we get to it. And to put on such an amazing race, and to run everyone so close, I think was really exciting. And we always say at the end of the day, the sport won on that day, and hopefully a lot of people were excited watching our race, and seeing how we raced, and yeah, it was really special to share that moment with the other three guys.
And finally from me, and like, I'm aware it's quite hot out here, so last one, but Paris is a city. I mean, as an Olympics, it seems like it has caught fire, not just from the sun,
Quite
but
literally.
also from but actually just from the way that Parisians have embraced the games. I mean, have you felt that competing as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the crowds that we've experienced, certainly within the triathlon, and it seems like across the Olympics, has been far and beyond anything I've ever experienced at any race. So I think for me to have the honor to be able to race in front of them, and for them to embrace us, embrace sport, embrace the Olympics itself, has been amazing. And it's not been without challenge, with the water quality with the Seine and stuff like that, but I mean, they've overcome every hurdle that's been thrown in their way so far, and put on probably one of the most successful games that I've ever seen, and definitely that I've been part of. So I think that's really, really special. And the venues and the backdrops of the finishing shots have been something to behold.
Perfect.